Special Observations Group MACV-SOG. The Military Assistance Command Vietnam Studies and Observations Group, or MACV-SOG, was a covert unit created by the U.S. Army and the Pentagon in the years before the outbreak of the Vietnam War. The unit operated in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia from 1964 to 1973. SOG remained classified until the late 1990s, and it was not until the 2000s when the men who served in the classified unit were formally recognized by the U.S. government. MACV-SOG was created to function as a joint special operations task force between the U.S. government and military branches, with recruitments from the Green Berets, CIA, Navy SEALs, Air Force, Marine Corps, and the South Vietnamese Military. MACV-SOG teams usually operated in 10-man squads and were deployed behind enemy lines via parachute drops. The men were given almost total freedom regarding the equipment and clothing they could use for their missions. Enemy weaponry, such as AK-47s, RPK machine guns, and old Soviet PPShs, were often used to disorient the enemy during firefights. MACV men also significantly extended the first iteration of M4 carbines, also known as commandos, which were smaller than the standard issue M16 rifle given to all American personnel in Vietnam. The covert unit specialized in a wide array of missions that ranged from strategic reconnaissance, search and rescue, sabotage, psychological operations, and counterintelligence. As the war raged on, MACV assumed more roles that turned more perilous as the U.S. steadily withdrew from the war. It was not uncommon to hear tales of SOG units that went up against entire regiments of North Vietnamese units and made it out alive, causing tremendous damage to the enemy. Of the more than 50 MACV-SOG operators captured by the enemy, only one survived, and the rest were never seen again. To this day, MACV-SOG remains the unit with the highest kill-death ratio in U.S. military history. Eventually, 9 Green Berets, 2 Navy SEALs, 1 Army medic, and 1 Air Force pilot that served in the unit received the Medal of Honor, while 30 other members were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. The unit would then receive a Presidential Unit Citation during a celebration at Fort Bragg in 2001. Office of Strategic Services, OSS. The Office of Strategic Services, or OSS, was the United States' first intelligence agency and the precursor of the CIA and the Bureau of Intelligence and Research. OSS was born during World War II as a joint organization of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Its main objective was to coordinate the espionage activities of all branches of the American military across all theaters of the conflict. Additional roles of the OSS included the coordination of the propaganda effort and subversion activities in enemy-occupied territories. Prior to World War II, the U.S. government left the intelligence recollection to foreign policy experts and each government department. The State, Treasury, Navy, and War departments gathered intelligence independently without any joint control or cooperation between them. This strategy was not efficient, as every department kept the information to themselves and had different code-breaking protocols. When President Franklin D. Roosevelt took office as global tensions escalated during wartime, he became concerned about the state of American intelligence. After repeated suggestions made by British intelligence officer William Stephenensos, the president asked World War I veteran Colonel William Donovan to draft a plan for an intelligence service inspired by the British MI6 Secret Intelligence Service. Donovan then submitted a memorandum reflecting the president's view to create a national intelligence center for espionage, covert operations, and more activities. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the need to create an American intelligence center drastically increased. The OSS was finally created on June 13, 1942, to collect and analyze information that could be of use to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. From then on, the OSS would grow in number to send highly trained men to every corner of the world, and OSS operatives would become crucial in the Allied war effort. The office provided the armed forces with essential information to maximize the damage caused by Allied bombing raids over German-occupied Europe. OSS men also helped coordinate the guerrillas in Europe. The operators would arm partisan forces and provide them with weapons and supplies required to wreak havoc behind enemy lines. The commandos trained for all sorts of deployments, including parachuting, skiing, mountain climbing, amphibious landings, and others. They also operated in France, Italy, Burma, Malaya, China, Yugoslavia, and Greece. When the war ended, the Office of Strategic Services had over 13,000 enlisted personnel. Then, on September 20th, 1945, President Harry S. Truman canceled the OSS to create the Central Intelligence Group, the direct precursor of the CIA. To this day, the United States Special Operations Command, founded in 1987, still uses the spearhead design employed by the OSS as an homage to the unit. 39th Special Forces Detachment. The 7781 Army Unit, or 39th Special Forces Operational Detachment, was one of the most secret units of the Cold War era. It is said that these brave men who greeted the communist enemies on a daily basis prevented the outbreak of World War III. The main objective of the 7781 Army Unit was to keep West Berlin from falling to the Soviets by forming an armed resistance if the city was attacked. Trained in all sorts of spycraft skills, no agent belonging to this unit was ever identified by the Soviets or its allies. When World War II ended in 1945, and the entire globe was divided into two factions, the city of Berlin became the melting pot of spies and secret agents. However, it was not until 1956 that the United States formally sent an elite unit to Berlin to spy on and counter the Soviets stationed in the east. In August of 1956, the 10th Special Forces Group located in Bad Tolz sent the classified 7781 Army Unit to West Berlin. The unit consisted of 6 detachments of 6 men each that were incorporated into the 6th Infantry Regiment. Each team was composed of a Master Sergeant and 5 team members, while a Major and a Captain were in command of the entire unit. In April of 1958, the unit's name changed to Department A when they moved to Building 904 at Andrew Barracks. From then on, the Green Berets conducted espionage missions, gathered intelligence, and countered the Soviet influence in the sector. They were also in ground zero of the most volatile zone in Europe and kept the continent safe without ever firing a shot. This unit of covert Green Berets would operate in West Berlin from 1956 to 1984, and was later reactivated in October of 2005 to train South Korean commandos when tensions with North Korea escalated. Soviet GRU. The main directorate at the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation, or GRU, is the military intelligence unit of the Russian Federation. GRU has its own special forces units and controls all military intelligence. The agency has the power to command highly trained Spetsnaz troops and send agents overseas to gather intelligence for the Russian government. GRU was created by Joseph Stalin in 1942 after the German invasion of the Soviet Union. Agents deployed within the nation were tasked with handing over traitors, while those outside were ordered to infiltrate the British and American governments to gather intelligence on the latest weapons developments. During the Cold War, GRU had spies in the Soviet embassies across the world, while others worked without diplomatic cover and spied on the enemy, especially in zones that later became militarized, such as Korea and Vietnam. The existence of GRU remained classified until the Soviet Union ceased to exist in 1991, and the powerful organization continues to operate to date. SEAL Team 6 DevGru. The Navy Special Warfare Development Group, abbreviated as DevGru and known as SEAL Team 6, is a U.S. Navy unit from the Joint Special Operations Command, or JSOC. SEAL Team 6 is a classified unit, and few details about its operation are known. However, it is said that the division specializes in counterterrorism, hostage rescue, and direct action against high-value targets. The top-secret unit was created after the failure of Operation Eagle Claw in 1980, when Richard Marcinko and the Navy saw the need to create a full-time counter-terrorist unit. Although there were only 2 SEAL teams, Marcinko created the unit and named it SEAL Team 6 to confuse Soviet spies. The unit was eventually dissolved in 1987, and DevGru was formed. However, many still refer to it as SEAL Team 6. The unit initially started with 80 men, but it is estimated that over 2,000 men serve in it today. SEAL Team 6 had unlimited resources for completing its missions, but like Delta Force, it is a top-tier American unit. SEAL Team 6 also became famous because of Operation Neptune Spear, the hunt for and termination of al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. However, the unit has also participated in numerous operations whose details are still kept from the public. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to our Dark Documentaries channels to find more exciting historical content. And let us know in the comments below what you think of these secret military and intelligence units. Have you heard about the exploits of these organizations?